Hi, and welcome to the TCTV Training Show. I was just going through the training archive here and picking out some of the best segments that have aired on TCTV. Today is a best of episode, so that means I'm going to show you some of my favorite projects that people have turned in for the TCTV Training Show. And really, I feel like I've picked up some gems here. Some of them go back all the way to July 2007, which is crazy. That's 3 years ago. So, yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll pick you guys up after the break.
It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They're learning how to shoot and learning how to light, learning how to mic and edit right. These are TCTV's finest in training, doing their best with focusing and framing. It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. You're watching TCTV. It's the Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They will get better.
Hey, I'm glad you made it. I'm Freddie. I'm a media trainer and facilitator here at TCTV, which means I teach some classes and I help people edit their stuff. And you're watching the TCTV Training Show. It's the only show where you get to see the first projects of TCTV's brand new producers. And that's because when people take the digital field and editing class, which is the class that you take to learn how to use TCTV's cameras and learn how to use Final Cut Express, you have to make a 3 to 5 minute final project. And then we air it on this TCTV Training Show. And we talk a little bit about each one. We say what they did right, what they did wrong, how they could improve it in the future. And that's basically the format of the show. If you want to be a part of the TCTV Training Show, all you have to do is take the digital field and editing class, which only costs $20, and it happens once a month. To sign up, all you got to do is call 360-956-3100 and ask about the class, or you can sign up by going to our website, tctv.net, and just click on the little training icon there. Today is a best of episode, so we're going to take a step back and look at some of the older projects, some of the ones that I really think make a really good TCTV training segment, and I'm going to tell you why I like them and why they're the best. So we'll learn a little bit about what makes a good segment, and when you take the TCTV training class, if you haven't already, you'll know what kind of show to make, basically. But before we get started, I want you all to take a little look over here at the big rock wall behind me. This is a flat painted by our very own Dan Bennett. He did it during Down Week, and he really did a fantastic job. It looks like a great rock wall. This is the kind of thing that if you wanted a rock wall behind you, before this, you would have to use green screen, and it'd probably look kind of weird and cheesy. But now we have a flat of our very own that you can just set up behind any show that you want to set up, and you've got a rock wall. It's set up in the big flat holder in the back of Studio A, where the peach flat and the Wickers things, we have a bunch of different little slatted things, lots of stuff that you can use to spruce up your studio shoots. And now we've got a rock wall. If you've taken the studio class, you can come in anytime, do a studio show, and use this big rock wall. So thank you, Dan, for that, and let's move on. But since some of these segments are a little bit old, I am going to have to get a VHS player first, so 1 second. Here we go. And I guess I need a TV too, so 1 second. Wow. All right, I think we're ready now. Cool. So we're going to get started here, and we're going to do this in chronological order from earliest original air date on. So we're going to start with a project by Sylvia Jackson, and it's about Camp Quixote, and it was originally aired July 2007. So let's go ahead and do this then.
Camp Coyote right now is a delightful experiment because there's a real family feeling here, a real community, if you will.
This is inside our common area in Camp Coyote, and we got the kitchen over here. Here's our kitchen, and right in there is all the food that was donated since we've been here, and the tents over there were donated.
Right now they're finding what to do for the future camps. They're finding, for instance, that what to do about Santa cans and gray water and garbage and how to build their common areas and how to get along. I mean, this is a beautiful experiment.
Awesome. On the day the sidewalk ordinances went into effect, what we did was we used the protests of those ordinances as a diversion. And we went in and we set up a tent city in the middle of downtown Olympia. We ended up with about 25 tents around this central structure in downtown Olympia. We managed to get 7 days, and then we negotiated with the Unitarian Church here, and they gave us this place to set up. And it was known by the city and by everybody else that we were coming here. And we figured we had that next day, after 7 days, to move. Instead, at 4:30 in the morning, in the rain, they surrounded us with police, rousted us from our tents, told us we had a half hour to get out, and that there would be coffee and cookies across the street. The idea was they did not want us to be able to make it here in good order. They figured by only giving us half an hour, we would have to leave our tents, leave our belongings, and just go back to the streets again.
Camp Coyote, they make the decisions on their own. It's not from the top down. This is everybody deciding. I just was sitting in on a meeting in there in which the group makes most of the decisions for the place. Not all of them, because the church has some rules, but they run it in the most democratic fashion that I've ever seen an organization run.
What we're looking for is a permanent location.
We realized, being around each other really does help one another.
We're looking to rebuild community.
I don't think I've ever felt the love that I feel here.
Thanks a lot, Sylvia. The reason that this was selected as a best of was for its amazing use of B-roll. Sylvia couldn't be there for all the events that were talked about during the whole program. For instance, when they were kicked out of their original camp in downtown Olympia, Sylvia wasn't there to shoot that, but she had pictures that other people had taken and used those as B-roll. She would cut to those while they were talking about it, and that was an amazing use of still images. And really, the whole thing had a whole lot of heart. It was an amazingly done piece. So yeah, that's why it's the best of. So our next one was aired originally in December 2008, and it's by Kathy Strauss. It's all about a barter fair. So let's check this one out.
My first barter fair, it's kind of funny. I'm okay, when we go there, I'm like, I'm going to make money. I'm not going to trade off my stuff. I was like, I want to make some money. Boy, did I have a reality check when I got there. I made tons of money, but I made more trades for the coolest stuff I've ever had that's priceless. All the stuff I got from barter fair is priceless, so the money melts away when you're at barter fair. So we're at the second annual Olympia Family Barter Fair, and it's in Matlock at our farm, Nature's Creation Organic Farm.
So it was the Back to the Land movement in the early 70s that had people going to barter fairs and trading with one another for their winter goods.
I traded pickles that my mom gave me for a crystal.
I love this kind of thing. It is just awesome. I mean, last night, after the band shut down, we sat down around the fire and sang so many songs, and we had a really nice drum circle, and the vibes were just amazing. Most people associate barter fairs and this kind of thing with drugs, They assume that there's going to be a lot of drugs and a lot of chaotic stuff going on, and that's not how it is. We come and we barter and we sell and we trade and we have fun and we make music and we play hacky sack, and it's just it's a good time, you know?
My son found some brownies, and he popped one in his mouth, but I made him spit it out because I was afraid it might have something in it. So that is a risk. I don't think that we're going to camp here. We're going to go down to the campground down the road. I don't want to put my husband make him feel too uncomfortable.
You get a lot different feel about, like, if you buy something with money, it makes you feel like the person that's selling you something doesn't really care that you're buying anything. They don't care. They just want money, and then it fills you up with this greedy feeling. But if you're like just trading stuff for stuff, it feels a lot different. I'm trading 2 walnut chocolate chip cookies for an awesome tie-dye sweatshirt.
Tie-dye hoodie with the sunburst on the head, so no one's going to lose you in the dark. That's for darn sure right there. There's a lot of satisfaction in just knowing that there's people wearing my tie-dyes, and I think that tie-dyes make people happy. And as a matter of fact, I've got tie-dyed onesies because I think there's nothing happier than a tie-dyed baby.
I come with the attitude of I want to trade to get my kids different gifts and gifts for other people. And what I bring, I want to trade, so usually it goes.
I think I might wear it to school.
Thanks, Kathy. I picked this one mostly once again because of its great B-roll. B-roll can really spice up an interview project. She got a lot of shots that were not just people talking to the camera, that shot of the guy playing didgeridoo, the people just looking at stuff. But also the interviews themselves were incredibly well done. They were all really well framed. And although some of them had a different kind of exposure to them, some were backlit and some weren't, I really thought they were very strong interviews. So let's see. Moving on to the next segment. This one is from February 2009, and it's all about Fry Cove Park, and it's made by Greg Hohenholt. So let's check this one out. I think you're going to like this one.
Welcome to Fry Cove Park. It is considered a hidden treasure by many and is one of the least visited parks in Thurston County. Fry Cove Park is located on the west side of Eld Inlet. The park is named after George W. Fry, who owned the property on the shore north of Flapjack Point. The land was acquired in 1973 by Thurston County. There is 1,400 feet of saltwater beach access and over 2 miles of trails in the 86 acres of forest. Hikes are easy, with a bit of up and down, and railroad tie steps where needed. This serene park is open from 9 a.m. to dusk and is great for picnics, weddings, hiking, nature walks, or just getting in touch with nature. The park offers 2 covered shelters, each with a picnic table and barbecue grill, a brand new playground for children to explore, and recently updated restrooms. Throughout the park, there are amazing views of Eld Inlet, and on clear days, a perfect view of Mount Rainier. Low tide is a good time to visit. During high tide, the beach will be underwater. Fry Cove Park is perfect for year-round fun and definitely worth the drive. Directions to Fry Cove Park. Take Highway 101 toward Sheldon. Take the Steamboat Island exit and take Steamboat Island Road about 6 miles to Young Road Northwest. Turn right and follow Young Road for about 2 miles. Turn left onto 61st Avenue Northwest and follow the road into the park. For more information, call Thurston County Parks and Recreation at 360-786-5595 or Visit them on the web.
Cool. Thanks so much, Greg. There's a lot of park features here on TCTV Training Show. A lot of people want to show their local parks, and that's wonderful. Thurston County has a lot of amazing parks, but I really felt this one stood out because of the use of animation towards the end. Greg did a fantastic job animating that, showing how to get there. And it was just a very steady, amazingly shot piece. Some of those pans went together so well. You blended them together, and that worked incredibly well. So thank you for that. Next up, from March 2009, we have a segment on the Olympia All Ages Project, which is a really great music project here in town, mostly featuring the Northern, a great place to go see music. And this is made by Sean Park, so let's see. All right, here we go.
I'm Mariella. I work at K Records, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Olympia All Ages Project. The Olympia All Ages Project is a nonprofit that's putting on shows and hopefully at some point art events. Right now, mostly just local all ages show promotion. So we're at a show at the Vera Project. We're seeing Mount Erie with Y and Julie Dorman. And so while we're there, we happen to bump into Kevin Erickson, who is the director of the Department of Safety in Anacortes. And Phil was playing a show the next day in Olympia, and we were talking about how Olympia doesn't have any good all-ages spaces. It's just, Olympia has this history of being this amazing music town, and over the last 20 years, there have been some inspiring things that have come from here. There's, of course, the Capitol Theater. They have the front stage and the backstage, and it's just the backstage has gotten really expensive to rent. And so, people aren't booking that anymore, and they're trying to have more films at the theater, which makes sense. I think one of the things that prevents people from having all-ages shows here is that, you have to rent a space here, and so that was sort of the goal of doing the Olympia All Ages Project, is to, make it so that it wasn't hard to do that. One of the very first shows I ever did on my own was Kimya Dawson, and because she's a K artist, we were able to put up a bunch of that money knowing that we'd get paid back, but the PA and the deposit and the rental fee was $700 or something like that. So it was so expensive to rent, and I realized that no kids are gonna have $700 to put on a show. I mean, even if it's their most favorite band, they don't have $700 sitting in the bank just crossing their fingers that they're going to make money back on the show. We also have a website. It's olympiallages.org, and you can check out our wish list just in case you happen to have some old gear lying around that you wanted to give to us. People can totally make donations. We are fiscally sponsored by another nonprofit, meaning that we use somebody else's 501(c) to get nonprofit status. We have monthly meetings the last Monday of every month at the Mix 96 boardroom, which is right near Cafe Vita.
Thanks, Sean. I think the biggest reason I like this segment is because I like local music. I like it when there's something that highlights local music and shows people a way to see more of it. The other thing that worked really well was all the flyers you added in there, those still images that were used as B-roll. It really showed how many bands have played here in Olympia and how important it is that there is local music and that this is a good resource. So it was a great highlight of a great resource here in town. So thank you so much for that. Next up, we have a project about the Capitol, and it's from Mark Sable, and it's called A Capitol Visit, and it was aired in June 2009. So let's check this out.
Situated on a knoll overlooking Capitol Lake and the southern tip of Puget Sound, The Legislative Building was the third classical building constructed on Washington's Capitol campus. One of the most magnificent state capitol buildings in the nation, the brick and sandstone dome rises 287 feet to the top of a cupola and is one of the tallest masonry domes in the world. Just inside the building stand two statues. The first is Marcus Whitman, a trained physician who was instrumental in bringing settlers to Washington. The second symbolizes Mother Joseph, who was responsible for the construction of many hospitals and other social service institutions in the Northwest. Embedded in the center of the floor is a replica of the Seal of the State of Washington. The seal is used extensively as decoration throughout the buildings, on railings, doorknobs, furniture, and curtains. The ceiling of the interior dome rises 175 feet above the rotunda floor. Hanging from a 101-foot chain is an ornate 5-ton bronze chandelier containing over 200 light bulbs, the largest ever created by the artists of Tiffany Studios, New York. The chandelier traveled west by train and was assembled and installed in the rotunda during the final stages of construction in 1928. You are welcome to visit the 4 executive offices located on the second floor of the building. The offices of the Governor, Secretary of State, Treasurer, Lieutenant Governor are open to the public on weekdays. Fresh violet marble from Italy lines the state reception room. The Tiffany chandeliers, heavy velvet draperies, and colorful carpet create an elaborate decor in this ceremonial room. The room is used for formal ceremonies, receptions, and meetings. The Lieutenant Governor, elected by the public every 4 years, presides over the state Senate. The 49 senators serve staggered 4-year terms. The 98 representatives are elected to 2-year terms. The membership selects a leader of the majority party to be Speaker of the House. You are invited to take your own tour. Public tours are held in the Legislative Building daily from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please call 360-902-8880.
Thanks a lot, Mark. This is a great piece, and I think I picked it mostly because of the narration. You did a great job with that. And you covered a lot of ground. You talked about a lot of historical things that maybe people don't already know about the Capitol. And I really think that you encouraged people to go to the Capitol by having that tour information at the end. It made it a much more accessible place. I think you made the actual Capitol itself a lot more accessible to the viewers that you have. And actually, it encouraged me myself even to want to go take a tour. So I think I'm going to do that this weekend. So thank you so much for everything that you did. We got one more segment here for you. And this one is a little more recent. It was originally aired in 2010, May 2010, and it's about the Evergreen Bike Shop, and it's by Luke Turner. So let's check this one out, and then we'll be done.
If you have a bicycle needing repair or maintenance, and you live near the Evergreen State College, the Evergreen Bike Shop can help you get rolling. The Evergreen Bike Shop is a volunteer-operated, self-serve facility where you can fix and maintain your bike. And if you don't know how, the volunteer staff are pleased to help you learn. Anyone can use the shop, student or not. Anyone can volunteer at the shop, student or not. Featuring an ample selection of basic to advanced tools, the shop can assist you in repairs ranging from merely inflating your tires to replacing your brake cables, to overhauling your bearings, to resurfacing your head tube. For a modest price, an array of new parts are available for basic repairs and safety upgrades. These include tires and tire tubes, shifter and brake cables and sheathing, brake pads, ball bearings, safety lights and helmets. The used parts room also offers a large collection of used parts for free. Also, the bike shop frequently offers workshops that focus on repairing or building specific sections of your bike, such as this wheel building workshop. Some workshops are even specifically designed to serve the non-male identified community. Beginning in the spring of 2010, the bike shop will also offer bike rentals to Evergreen students. The rental center will be on the first floor of C Dorm. These bike frames are awaiting assembly to become a fleet of rental bikes. The bike shop is currently located in the basement of Evergreen's SEM 1 building. To find the shop, just ride the elevator down to floor 1 and turn 180 degrees to your left. Because the bike shop's hours of operation are determined by the availability of its volunteers, it's always a good idea to call ahead to check whether the shop will be open when you want to visit. The number is 867-6399. With a little help from the Evergreen Bike Shop, you can be on your way to a fun-filled season of happy and safer riding.
Cool. Thank you so much, Luke. Once again, the reason that I picked this one was for the B-roll. Turns out, if you've got good B-roll, it's a good thing for the TCTV Training Show. So remember that. It also highlighted a great service here in Olympia, which, I mean, biking, what a good thing. Let's just bike all the time. All right, so that's it. We just watched all of my favorite, anyway, TCTV training segments on the TCTV Training Show. So if you want to watch more TCTV Training Show, you can check us out every Thursday at 8:30 and every Sunday at 3:30, or just go to the website, tctv.net, and click on training. You can stream our entire archive there. So check that out. So this is the very end of the Best Of episode. It's all over. If you want to give us a call at any time, just call 360-956-3100. If you've got any questions about the show or about how to join or anything like that, TCTV is here for you, your community station. And just remember, TCTV Training Show is the only place where you can see the very first projects of TCTV's brand new producers here on Channel 22. So check it out. Okay, so that's it. This is the part where we roll the ending credits. So I'll see you next time. I'm Freddie. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They're learning how to shoot and learning how to light, learning how to mic and edit right. These are TCTV's finest in training, doing their best with focusing and framing. It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. You're watching TCTV. It's the Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They will get better.